Okay, today our lesson will be reciprocal trigonometric functions. We know the primary trig functions are sine, cosine, and tangent. So reciprocal trig functions, as its name is, they are the reciprocals of primary trig functions. So let's see the first one, which is, we call it cosecant. Cosecant of an angle is reciprocal of sine theta, and secant of theta is reciprocal of the cosine theta, and cotangent is reciprocal of tan. So they are just exactly the same concept, but they are reciprocals of these primary trig ratios. So let's say if you want to find CSC, cosecant, which means CSC is cosecant theta, which means if I have CSC of 40 degrees. In my calculator I do not have cosecant, but I have the sine. So I say this means it is 1 over sine of 40 degrees. And I find sine of 40 degrees in my calculator, which I divide 1 divided by sine 40, it will be 1.5557. Similarly, if I have secant of 50 degrees, secant 50 degrees, this is reciprocal of cosine 50. 1 divided by cosine 50 will be 1.305. The third one is cotangent. Let's say cotangent of 50 degrees. This will be the same as 1 over tan 50 in my calculator, which is equal to 0.839. So this is how to find the ratios now. If I want to find the angle, let's say the question is find angles on the domain of 0 degrees less than or equal to theta less than or equal to 360 degrees. So the first one would be if I had cosecant of an angle is 1.452. How do I find the angle? First of all, once I have cosecant, I have to find what the sine of the angle is. From this one, I can conclude that sine of the angle is 1 over 1.452, which is equal to 0.687. Now I forget about 1.452 and I use 0.687. So as this is sine positive, I say from my previous lessons, sine is positive in the first quadrant and in the second quadrant. So I find the related acute angle. The related acute angle is the first angle, which is sine of minus 1, 0.687, which is 43.5 degrees. Therefore, my acute angle is 43.5 degrees. 43.5 degrees. Once I have this related angles, I can find both of the angles. So the second angle will be 180 minus 43.5, which is equal to 136.5 degrees. So that's exactly the same way we calculate the primary trig ratios. If I'm given secant of an angle is negative 1.345, Secant is negative, means cosine is negative. Therefore, this implies cosine of the angle is negative 1 over 1.345, which is equal to negative 0.7435. I can see here cosine is negative. Cosine is negative with quadrants. In the second quadrant and in the third quadrant. So I have to find the related acute angle now. Related acute angle, remember, we find it always without the negative sign, without the negative. So related acute angle is cos minus 1 of 0.7435, which is 42 degrees. I have 42 here, I have 42 here. Therefore, my angles will be, the first angle will be, second quadrant means always 180 minus 42, which is 138 degrees. My second angle is in the third quadrant, which is 180 plus 42 degrees, which is 222 degrees. Okay. Now, let's see the third one. See, cotangent. Cotangent of theta is equal to 0.5345. This implies that tangent of the angle is 1 over 0.5345, which is equal to 1.8704. Since this is positive, tangent is positive in the first quadrant and in the third quadrant. So I find the acute angles. The related acute angle will be the same as the first angle because it's in the first quadrant. Related acute angle is the first angle, which is tan minus 1 of 1.8704, which is equal to 61.9 degrees. So this is 61.9 degrees. My second angle is in the third quadrant, which is 180 plus 61.9 degrees, which is 241.9 degrees. So these are the basic things for reciprocal trigonometric functions.